there, Ariana from Crafting Happiness here. In today's tutorial, I'm gonna show you how to crochet the Puff V Stitch. And this is an easy one row repeat, creates this beautifully textured fabric, which is double-sided, looks beautiful from both sides. And for this tutorial, I have made two samples for you. This is with multiple yarn colors. I've changed the yarn every 2 rows. Now you can carry it on a side and crochet a border over it if you like, or just cut the yarn every 2 rows. And this is just one color, so you can see the overall texture. So let's get started. For this tutorial, I'm crocheting with double knit yarn and a 4mm crochet hook, and because we are working with puff stitches, it will create quite a thick fabric, so keep that in mind if you want to use a thicker yarn. The pattern requires you to chain multiples of 4 plus 2 stitches. My starting chain has 34. So let's start with the first round, and we are going to single crochet into the second chain from the hook. And then another single crochet into the next chain, chain 1, skip 1 chain and single crochet in next. And this is your repeat section right here, chain 1, skip 1, single crochet in next, and repeat this until you have 1 chain left. So I'll show you again, chain 1, skip the next chain, single crochet into the next, and that's your repeat. And let's finish this row. I'm just gonna speed up until I have 1 stitch, 1 chain left. So now we have 1 chain left. We're not going to chain 1 and skip. We're just going to single crochet in that last chain. And this is your first row. Turn your work around and chain 3. And this is how we start row 2. And this counts as a double crochet. Now skip the next stitch, which is the single crochet, and into that chain 1 space, let's make a puff stitch. My puff stitch has 9 loops, and I think that is the right thickness, but if you want your puff to be bigger or maybe smaller because you're working with a thicker yarn, then make less of these loops. Okay, so like I said, mine is made out of 4. So into that chain 1 space, yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a long loop, then again yarn over, insert your hook into the same chain 1 space, yarn over, pull up a second loop, now a third loop, and a 4th loop. And now you have 9 loops on your hook. Let's make the puff stitch, yarn over, pull through all 9 loops, and then we chain 1 to lock the puff stitch. And this is how you make the puff stitch. Now chain 1, and into the same chain 1 space, we're gonna make another puff stitch. And again, yarn over, insert a hook into that chain space, pull up a loop, yarn over, again another loop, this is the 3rd, and then the 4th, and it helps if you hold them with your finger, keeps them the same height, yarn over and pull through all 9 loops on your hook and chain 1. And this is how the V-stitch puff looks. Now we're gonna skip the single crochet and the chain 1 space, then the next single crochet. So all these stitches we are skipping, and into the next chain 2 space. So not the next, after we skip that, into that chain 1 space, again we're gonna make a puff stitch. So insert your hook into that chain 1 space, yarn over, pull up a second one, third and fourth, then yarn over and pull through all, chain 1 to lock the puff, and then chain 1, and then again into the same chain 1 space, yarn over, pull up a loop. We're going to make another puff stitch. That's 1, 2, 3 and 4, and then yarn over, pull through all loops and chain 1 to lock it. And this is your repeat section. We are skipping the next chain 1 space, then into the following chain 1 space. We're ignoring these single crochet stitches, so we skip the first chain 1 space, into the next chain 1 space we make puff, chain 1 and puff, and these chains we use to lock the puffs don't count as chains, they are part of the puff. So let me show you another repeat before I speed up the video. Skip the chain 1 space, and into the next chain 1 space let's make a puff. Skip, hold it with your finger, and they will keep the same height. Okay, so that's the third and fourth. Now you have 9 loops, yarn over, pull through all and chain 1, and that's 1 puff. Then we chain 1 and make another puff into the same chain 1 space. 1, 2, 3, 4 sets of loops, yarn over and pull through all, and then chain 1 to lock it, and repeat that across your row until you have crocheted into the last chain 1 space. So again, skip this one, crochet in this one, skip this one, crochet in this one, until you have crocheted into the last one. I'll just speed up the video and I'll meet you at the end to show you how to continue from there. So now I'm reaching the end of the row, and if you skip correctly the chain 1 spaces, you should be crocheting into the last chain 1 space right before these 2 single crochet. So let's finish up the row. Again, we're gonna make puff stitch, then we chain 1 and another puff stitch into the same chain 1 space. And now we have 2 single crochet stitches left. We're gonna skip the next, and we are going to make a double crochet into the last stitch. and this is your second row, and you can see how it's quite thick. The fabric it creates is quite thick, so if you're making a baby blanket, I'll not recommend bulky yarn. For example, it will be too heavy, too thick. It all depends what you want to create with this stitch. Let's continue with the third round, and this is the repeat round. So this third round you keep repeating until you have the desired height to your work. So we start with a chain 3, this counts as a double crochet, and then into this chain 1 space in between puffs we are going to make another puff V stitch. So again, let's make a puff stitch with 4 loops, chain 1, and this is a puff stitch, and again chain 1, and let's make another one into the same chain 1 space. So that's 1, 2, 3 and 4 loops, then yarn over, pull through all, and chain 1 to lock it. And now we skip this space in between, and we are only crocheting into the chain 1 spaces, the spaces in between this V stitch, puff V stitch. Okay, so we're not skipping any chain 1s. This is not a chain 1. We're going into the next chain 1 stitch and make another puff, and then we are going to make a chain 1 and another puff into the same chain 1 space, and this is your repeat section right here. We are going to make a puff, stitch, chain 1, puff stitch in every single chain 1 space in the row below. So let me finish this quite quickly and I'll show you how to end it. So now I have made puff V stitch into the last chain 1 space, and to close this round, to finish it, you are going to make a double crochet into the top chain of that chain 3 you made on round 2, and that this will create a nice straight edge to your work like so. And this is your third round, and this is how you crochet the puff V stitch, and this is how the pattern looks once you make more rows. If you have any questions about this pattern, please ask them in the comments below and I'll be more than happy to answer you. Happy crocheting!